today, guys? How's it going? My name is Clint.
I'm Frankie.
And this is the Clint and Frankie Lifestyle Podcast. Today we're going to be going over some topics that are near and dear to our lives. Basically going to be giving you a rundown of things that we experienced while we were growing up, and very different cultures, might I add. Me being from right here, Southwest Florida, and Frankie being from Chicago.
Yep.
And just going to dig into our lives a little bit. So what do we got for us today, Frankie?
So today we're just going to be talking about essentially our years before Florida Gulf Coast and the cultural differences and everything that revolved around that. Our topics are going to talk about our childhood, our transitions, and high school. So I'll start out. Some of my earliest memories from my childhood were all essentially revolved around my family, and hardships, but a lot of, I was very close to my family my whole life. I moved a ton when I was younger, but the culture, I'm 100% Italian.
Yeah.
So that really shaped the way that I live.
You guys weren't military, were you?
No military.
Okay. Yeah, you said moving around. I was like, I know a bunch of people from back home. They're all, oh yeah, we're moving all over the place, over to London, over to California, Japan, everywhere. So.
Did you move a lot when you were younger?
No, I was born and raised Naples, Florida, and I've pretty much been living here ever since.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean, I've only moved, I think 3 times I've had to move, at least since I was alive.
Yeah.
My parents have been kind of all over. Parents originally grew up on the west coast of Florida, or east coast of Florida, excuse me, and came over here right when I was born in 2000, and just living here and doing it up ever since.
Yeah. How would you say that, like, your family life and, like, your cultural background shaped your upbringing?
Well, my grandparents were both born and raised in South Carolina, and so there is a lot of deep Southern ties to our family and traditions, and just run back for years, It was even going from things to food to sporting events. My dad played football for years and years, and that was just kind of like something that he had 3 brothers and 1 sister, and so that was kind of something that like every single brother did growing up, playing sports, learning how to work on cars, and just learning to be a man, embracing all of your struggles and hardships, and then turning them into a success.
Yeah.
So that's how my grandpa had.
What nationality are your grandparents, and what nationality are you?
So I'm kind of like a mixed mud of everything, actually, but like I said, my dad's grandparents were born in South Carolina, and my mom's dad, he's got some Irish in him, German, and my grandmother, she's actually Puerto Rican on my mom's side, so I have a little bit of Hispanic blood in me, but not too much, no habla español, so.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you next, and we're gonna kind of dive deep into like our interests and our hobbies and our memories. For me, like, a lot of my memories really revolved around my culture, being with my family and stuff like that. My Italian culture like brought a lot of what shaped me as a person. Like, me and my dad, we make 50 gallons of wine, 500 pounds of sausage every year.
Yeah, Italians usually cook a lot, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming you know what to do in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I cook every day.
Ladies, hit him up. He knows how to cook.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a really cool thing that I've been, fortunate enough to learn and know how to do my whole life. I cook every day now. I cook for my family. Like, at our holidays, I enjoy my holidays so much because my family, like my immediate family, hosts like all of our holidays.
Yeah.
And I've now taken the role of essentially running all those holidays for
Awesome.
my parents.
Yeah, I mean, cooking, obviously, it's important. You can't live without food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's awesome. I've done a little bit of dabbling with some cooking myself. I do barbecue a lot, so that's my main focus. But, yeah, I love doing all sorts of cooking.
What was it like for you growing up, like from your childhood when you were very young to like your, middle school ages, like, to like junior high, like, how did you change from a young person, and like, what were like some adversity that you faced, some challenges that you faced, like as like growing up to kind of mold your character at that time period?
I mean, ever since I was, old enough to walk, I was running around doing all sorts of things with my friends, with my brother. Uh, it was actually awesome. We used to live in this neighborhood, and it had this preserve area that backed up to a golf course. So when we were little kids, we'd be running around there all day long after school, building forts until the sun came down, and we're coming inside covered in mud and sticks and all that from the forest. And, mom's over here like, get inside, dinner's ready. Like, you're all dirty, and now I got to wash you beforehand, So it's just like I feel like growing up, in Southwest Florida, there's so much opportunity for you to just kind of go out and explore and be with nature. And I think that kind of helped me, because sometimes I could just kind of, if I'm ever too stressed out or anything, I could just kind of go back to nature. But, it's...
Were you fishing when you were young?
I did a little bit. Not too terribly much. My grandpa was the one that kind of got me into fishing. He bought me my first real rod, otherwise before you got the little baby rods like the little Zebcos, and he got me my first real rod and everything, so that was kind of a core memory I have going out fishing with him. But I didn't really live too close to that one particular grandpa, so it was only like a few times a year I could actually go and like hang out with him and whatnot. And now that I'm older, it's a little different. I can go drive up to see him, or he can come down and stay with us. But
right on.
I will say one thing that's very interesting that kind of relates to this. Growing up with family completely changes like how a kid perceives the world and is raised. I've had the opportunity to literally live 15 minutes away from my dad's parents, which are my southern grandparents, and they're a huge factor in shaping me in my life and teaching me things that I would have never known had I not been with them. And it's also just like it's another set of ears for your family. You can actually talk to people, and it's just a really great thing to have. So
yeah, man, I went to a Catholic school pretty much my whole life up through 8th grade. So like I was pretty invested in my faith, which didn't necessarily change but has adapted to different circumstances in my life. But yeah, I went to a small Catholic school. I grew up in a small town outside Chicago, Midwest. And I have a lot of role models, and I've always been fortunate enough my whole life to have people in my life very close to me that a lot of people don't. Like I hear some people like, oh yeah, like my uncles or like my aunts, like, oh, it's just my uncle. Like for me, like if I had to get up on a stage and thank, if like I won an award that can thank people, I wouldn't only thank like my parents, but like my aunts and uncles have been there and shown like immense support for me my whole life. We're extremely, extremely close.
So yeah, you were close as a family. You were able to grow up around family, basically. That's what you're saying. Yeah, that's awesome.
How about high school? What was high school like? What high school did you do? Like what was that? What was that kind of? What did you do? And what was your?
So I had a weird experience. High school. I didn't necessarily like move around. I was still in the Naples area, but there was a period where I wasn't really going just to the exact same school for a while. I started in 6th grade at a school I'd gone to years and years before, like 1st grade, kindergarten through 5th grade, and then I left that school to try homeschooling because at the time I was playing football, I was racing dirt bikes, I was acting, I was doing like everything I could under the sun.
You played ball?
Yeah, I played football.
And rode dirt bikes, like that was like your.
Yeah, me and my dad actually raced dirt bikes together, and he's 55 years old and still kicking butt and taking names. He's way faster than I am, and I'm getting there. I'm getting closer. So Do
you think one of the reasons he's faster is like, not like that he has more or anything, but like you guys, like your bikes could probably go the same speed, right? But do you think he's just like ballsier with it?
I mean, we're both.
Why do you think he's faster?
I mean, it all kind of boils down to how you treat your body. So, I'm still young and in college, and I enjoy going out with my friends for a few drinks here and there. My dad doesn't drink at all.
Mm-hmm.
He is on pretty strict diet. He does keto diet. So, I mean, you basically eat anything you want. You just can't eat carbs and sugar.
No carbs, no sugar, right.
So,
get your body into ketosis.
Exactly. He has found that doing the keto has significantly improved his riding. He doesn't get all these crazy headaches or overheated and anything. And another big factor of it is just hydration. Hydration. Eating a lot and keeping yourself hydrated before a race. It's just, if you don't do it, you're going to pass out. Like, there's no other way to sugarcoat it. If you don't take care of your body, like, it's not going to take care of you when you're on the bike.
Right.
You know,
100%.
you're moving around, so it's a workout. It is the most full body workout I've ever received in my life. Period. There's nothing else that compares to it. You think you're on a bike, the bike's doing all the work? No, you are one with the machine when you are on that.
Mm-hmm.
You are carrying around all 250 pounds of that bike, trying to maneuver it through wherever, and it just takes a toll on you. But that's just part of the fun of racing, and that's why we do it. So,
yeah.
So I feel like that has helped me a lot through high school. I
Yeah.
can kind of take my mind off of some things. Like I said, when I was younger, I used to always go out to the woods and play with my friends. Well, people get busy.
Yeah.
So it's something that we just, were able to enjoy as a family, me and my dad, and it was kind of good father-son bonding time, So that really helped me through high school. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. I was a pretty big athlete in high school. Like, that's kind of what I did.
You look like a big guy. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I got into weight training when I was younger and kind of stuck with it, but played football and I wrestled, and that was kind of like my thing. I was never like obsessed with it, but I always really tried really hard in that, and that kind of like brought me a lot of friends, a lot of experience. I learned a lot, with old, because I was with older guys a lot. I was with people that were older than me playing, so I got forced to make friends with people that were seniors when I was a freshman at times. So that taught me the way not to be, because some of them were just awful people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I've definitely seen it.
But it really, high school is a weird time, and we're well past that. But it was crazy though. Like, my whole upbringing was kind of a wild ride, but I'm very fortunate, and I wouldn't change it.
So, I mean, would you say that as of that upbringing, how you lived your high school, middle school, you think that's kind of brought you to who you are today as a person?
Yeah, a lot of learning. Because, I've made it, not enemies, but, everyone has people that, they make upset, or they make you upset, or, you make them upset, but, things like that. And I've gone back and, I've talked to those people now, people that I faced adversity with, and I've always come to common grounds with them, because I'm like, you know what? I never want you to view me as a stagnant person that was stuck in my way, and I never want to view you as a person that was stuck in your way. And we're totally different people now. So and I've grown so much since then. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Yeah. Would you say any specific challenges or hardships that you could have faced that that actually also brought you through your personal growth? Could you maybe name one experience that was really heartbreaking and it got to you?
When I wrestled, so I was a freshman and I wrestled on the varsity team. So I was 160 pounds, I'd say, maybe. No, I was 155 about, and I wrestled.
That's solid weight.
Yeah, 155, 160, but I cut down, and I was 13% body fat. So I was shredded, and then I cut down to 138. So my face was caved in. I never ate anything, and then I just got, it was tough. And the older guys, they weren't facing the same things I was, and when I couldn't perform at the level that I should have been performing at, I got a super hard time. That's one thing. I've gone back and talked to those people, and we're super close now. Even though they might have put me through hell, they were in high school. You know what I mean? We were high schoolers. Think about you're talking to you, you look back at high school now, you're that guy doesn't.
So long ago.
I was that guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's got so much to learn. You look back now and you're all those things that you went through when you were younger. Those guys were kids too. At the same time, you might have just been a little younger.
Yeah. And even that little bit can just make all of the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's big, man. I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing better now, and obviously it seems like you've overcome whatever you were struggling with, and
for sure.
Now here you are living a good, healthy life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's all. That's all of our time that we got for today. So we'll see. So we'll see our audience next time.
Yeah, we will pick up with a part 2 of this discussion in the next segment. And next time we're going to be going over our current college experience and how that has been going in our lives, because it's been a ride.
It's been crazy.
It's been one hell of a ride, that's for sure. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time on the cast.
Awesome.
Peace out.